So, Cyberpunk 2077, we haven't talked about this game in quite a while at this point. Well, today it is getting a brand new update coming in with a ton of performance changes and fixes, among some other gameplay related stuff in there as well. But I also want to talk about the fact that it's also finally getting back to the PlayStation Store, almost 6 months if not more after its release. So let's jump right into it. But speaking of gaming performance, if you're looking to upgrade to the next level, why not take a look at the Red Magic 6 gaming phone right now. Yes, that is actually a thing, and the company actually sent me one of their latest models with the latest version of Android a couple of days ago. It's not like I'm big on mobile games, but I was immediately surprised in a good way by what it has to offer at this price point, which right now sits at around $599 for this Red Magic 6 model that I have right here. Like, it's really eye-catching right out of the package. Its backplate and the design and everything about it really just screams, hey, I'm a gamer. You can still use it as a regular old phone, by the way, to make phone calls and take photos, but its biggest selling point is its gaming performance. So it comes with a rather massive 6.8-inch AMOLED display that just makes pictures and videos look stunning, even more so since it comes with an ultra high refresh rate of up to 165. This means that especially gaming on a mobile phone has never looked smoother, and if you're one up for performance, then it also never felt smoother because it also comes with the latest and most powerful chipset, the Snapdragon 888. So a lot of stuff under the hood. Definitely go ahead and check out the phone out. There's going to be some links down below, and I will give another huge shout out to Red Magic for sponsoring this video. Anyway, if you want to check the notes more extensively, I will post the links down below that you can follow, but in the meantime I will just skip momentarily the quests and the open world section because this mostly deals with some of the quests in the game, quite a number of them, but I want to concentrate a bit more on the performance, on the gameplay, on the PC specific, and more important, the console specific changes. So starting things off with the gameplay, they fixed an issue where after killing an NPC and stealing their car, their bodies could get stuck in the car, and there's this weird animation that plays where you don't remove the body, so that gets fixed. Adam Smasher will no longer receive damage during animations between his attack phases, and finally on the gameplay side, they fixed an issue where dropping an NPC body caused too much destruction. Now, in terms of the visuals, the most noteworthy fix is probably going to be for the clipping issues for various NPC clothing pieces. So it seems that various of these issues relating to clipping has been addressed in this new update. Also, Johnny's spectral appearance in various quests has been addressed as well. Furthermore, they fixed an appearance of the rocks in the Badlands, and finally during the pickup mission, they fixed an issue where one of the maelstromers was T-posing, in case you had any of that happening to you. Now let's jump over the stability and performance because they've been doing quite a bit of that ever since update 1.2 a few months ago, and over these updates they did actually improve the performance quite a bit. It is pretty satisfactory compared to how it was back in December when it launched, but it's still not going to be perfect, especially on low-end hardware and even more so on the base PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones, but nonetheless we do have a few of these on top. So numerous crash fixes in animations, UI, scene physics, and gameplay systems have been added in the new update. Furthermore, they've done memory optimizations and memory management improvements in various systems, which in turn should reduce the number of crashes that you experience. They've also done various console CPU optimizations and memory and I/O improvements, leading to fewer instances of NPCs with identical appearances spawning in the same area and to improve streaming. We also have a couple of Xbox and PC specific changes, and I want to start things off with Xbox One. They faced an issue where signing out during a scene fade out could result in the game being partially unresponsive, and finally for the Xbox, they fixed an issue where the pause menu would open again on its own if the Xbox guide and the pause menu were closed in quick succession. For the PC specific changes, they fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to click the upgrade button while playing with a 720p resolution. They fixed an issue where toggling the windowed and full screen modes with the Alt-Enter made the game appear unresponsive, and on Steam, by the way, changing language settings to default will now set it to the language of the Steam client. A pop-up message asking to verify integrity of the game data will now be displayed when incomplete or corrupted game data is detected. But this is pretty much it with the performance and the changes to the consoles and the PC crowd. But let's talk about some of the quests and the open world, as I mentioned previously. So they did a number of changes to quite a number of these quests, especially main story quests, and starting with the heist, they added about a handful of fixes, including for Jackie getting stuck through glass, also the one where you would get the guards being prevented from attacking the player, another one where the search for Arasaka officer objective would get stuck after fulfilling it, also an issue that is as old as the game itself is with the Mac getting stuck and not spawning in the lobby. You would open up that elevator, and I believe this was the instance where it would get kind of like clipped through that elevator and it would not react at all. So like 6 months it took them to fully fix this. Now in terms of the other fixes, we have them for pretty much everything. The Beast in Me, for example, which is that racing quest line, fixed an issue where progression could be blocked if the player left clear after descent of the minigo race too early, which did happen to me, by the way, so I'm glad that they came in with this fix as well. They did a bunch of others, for example, to getting warmer. They fixed an issue where Fixer's car could drive straight through the intersection instead of turning right. They've also fixed an issue where the prompt to use the coolant on Bugbear could still be selected while plugging her out, which would break the animation. And there's other changes over there, like for example issue where it wasn't possible to pick up Bugbear, and finally fixed an issue where NPCs could spawn on the ground, blocking progression. Also during a gig Family Matters, they fixed an issue where Juliet's car could disappear on site after completing the quest. And they've also fixed a streaming issue in Juliet's house, and they fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to enter Juliet's house if the player didn't meet either the attribute requirements. So that has been addressed in this update, and it's not the biggest of them all. Not sure why it's like 30 gigs on the console. Of course, we also have a bunch of other stuff that could be added in the game. Right now the game is pretty much on live support, and you know what, it's been 6 months and we haven't seen any new content in the game. It also seems that 2021 is not going to see any new content. Even like their updated roadmap doesn't show anything significant, at least until 2022. So according to their recent earnings call from a few months ago, they pretty much posted this updated roadmap right here. Also showed a bit how the game kind of performed over time after each new hotfix, and it seems that even for the rest of the year there aren't any significant content updates. There are some free DLCs listed and the new gen edition coming in like maybe the second half, but even the free DLCs has a small disclaimer right there which mentions that this is just like small additional content. So I would not expect anything beyond like maybe a new in-game suit or maybe some small little thing in there, but it's probably not gonna like super change the game in any way. I'm also looking at the way the game performed over time. You can see the huge drop off. Like, yeah, obviously it went down, especially after January. It went down. It kind of bumps up a little bit after each hotfix because people are trying it out, but very few people are buying the game. Even more so, very few are still engaged into going back at the game after each subsequent hotfix, and it's only going down with each update. So yeah, they definitely need to do something. Now in terms of the recent news, we do know that the game is coming out back on the PlayStation Store next week, as early as next week on the 21st of June. So this is the regulatory announcement that CD Projekt Red posted on their official website. It was also picked by the major news outlets. This was posted a few days ago on June 15, and it pretty much says this: in relation to the current report of December 2020, which is basically when they got delisted, the management board of CD Projekt SA, yeah, they did publicly disclose the decision by Sony Interactive Entertainment to reinstate the availability of the digital edition of Cyberpunk 2077 on the PlayStation Store, effective immediate on 21st of June 2021. But there is still a disclaimer that Sony put out, and that's the fact that even though it is accessible even on PlayStation 4, try not to play it on anything lower than a PlayStation 4 Pro. And I would even argue from my experience that even in that case, you might not have the best experience. So just my 2 cents on that. But this is it with the recent updates. Totally let me know down below, are you still even interested in Cyberpunk 2077, or did you completely forget about the game of the decade? Of course, between the quotes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.